Let me quickly talk about the patch notes, actually. I don't know why I forgot to do that. I never talked about the 2513 full preview yet. I only talked about before the numbers came out. There's a couple of things here that I disagree with, so we need to get into it. Gangplank, GP's harassment ability has been a bit worse for War ever since Biscuit's mana removal, and while we gave him some mana region to compensate, it wasn't enough. This is true. I think back then, when Riot buffed GP's mana region, it was like very low amounts of mana. And GP in the past like ran Grass Biscuit room page a lot and relied on cookies to sustain mana in early game. While we don't love it that he's only viable through Q spamming on champions, he could use a little more in that department. Also buffing up some of his unique outputs to buff up one of his unique outputs relative to the roster. Aurelia, she's just weak, wanting to buff her ability to win in extended skirmishes when she got her passive stacked, especially in lane as it's more high elo skewed. Our changes a while ago to unskew her out of pro and high elo were a bit too effective. Ryze. We're not looking to remove Ryze from the meta, but move power out of his point and click harassment through rank 1W that allows him to generate early leads in matchups and avoids getting punished. If he can get to level 6, good for him. I don't agree with anything that's being said here. I'll explain why shortly. Nidalee. Some creative buffs here to improve Nidalee's ability to land max range spears, which are more likely to be used from jungle than on top lane. Okay. Ramos. He landed weak. Prior to release, especially in playtest, he was super strong and we overshot on last second nerfs. Had a couple overswings recently and complicated changes, and we wanted to avoid this this time. In particular, one of these things we pulled back was how tanky he could get later in the game. We're pulling back some of that. Okay. Twisted Fate, just pulling back midway on the ult buff, we gave him last patch. Fiddlesticks, looking to give power to Fiddle that doesn't buff his support too much. Yeah. So a lot of things I predicted, right? A lot of it. So let's talk about it. So first of all, Briar gets some quality of life buffs. W attacks can no longer be cancelled. They work better versus running targets. R post cast time 0.25, scaling with attack speed to 0.15. So very small quality of life. Briar buffs, this is completely fine. Fiddlesticks W damage goes up by 10% AP ratio. So you can see that Fiddlesticks W has a very aggressive AP ratio and a very aggressive base damage. And the reason for that is the spell, basically a lot of times champions can either cancel your CC or they can walk out and you don't get the full value of the spell. This is why the spell has very high numbers, which makes sense, right? Now this does not really buff Fiddle support, but I don't think Fiddle support is an issue anymore. It probably won't be an issue for a long time. I think the real problem with Fiddle is lame Fiddle, which I think Riot is not addressing, and I think it's gonna become popular over time if people keep playing it. I think lame Fiddle is extremely oppressive, extremely annoying to play against, and really, really strong, if not overpowered for solo queue. But it's just a matter of time till people catch up on it. But yeah, okay, small buff to Fiddle. Gangplank. So Q cost down by 5, which is very big for lane Gangplank. This allows you to get like 2 or 3 more Qs per lane in very easily. And then R cooldown is also gonna go down by 10 seconds. So lately, like, I don't know why, but Riot has been having this idea of buffing R cooldowns all the time. They did it with TF, and I feel like they did it with some other champions. I think they need to chill on a little bit about R cooldowns. Like, I think it's cool that cooldowns on R are a bit longer in League of Legends, but in any case, like, yeah, nice GP buffs. I personally would never buff him this way. Like, I don't think his early game is super weak that you need to give him more Q spam. Because the thing is, like, Gangplank Q mana cost is only matters till about level 5 or level 7. Once he gets his first recall in, he has enough mana where he's no longer really going unless he uses W's. W's is the thing that makes GP go Now the R cooldown, like, obviously these are all nice buffs, but like the main issue that I have with Gangplank is that I think he's just too squishy. I would personally just buff his durability. I think the champion just dies way too quickly. This is my biggest gripe with Gangplank. He's just too squishy, where it feels like it's too hard to go glass cannon builds on him. I feel like a lot of times, people... I've seen GP players just buy like Chifer, Sojin, and like 50 tank items because the champ just dies too fast, in my opinion. Aurelia. Passive, 2.5% up early game. So she's gonna get 40% rank 1 instead of 30%. I mean, yeah, no joke, this is a very big buff. I think Aurelia has such an easy time stacking past you. This is obviously a very highly skewed buff because it's an early game buff, right? It's gonna mostly matter, I would say, first, like let's say 7 levels of the game. It's gonna be even harder to contest Aurelia in so many matchups. You're now even more forced to just press S, wait under tower, play safe, right? Like most champions cannot compete with this early game. I disagree with the way Aurelia is being buffed here. I understand that they don't want to give her like more late game power, but maybe they should do something else to make her better in Hyla then, because like for me, the problem with Aurelia is just that she just like, even if you get an early lead, you make one throw and all of a sudden like this champion is just gone. Like the scaling is just completely gone. This champion does not scale against anything these days. I get why Riot doesn't want to buff the scaling part, but then they need to find a way to unskew her again a little bit. In a different way. Kindred R cooldown. So again, this is like, again, a change that I just question again. We're buffing R cooldowns. Like, why? 20 seconds of Kindred R. Now, Kindred R is a spell that's not a global, right? So it doesn't make sense that it's a 3-minute cooldown, I would say. Rank 1. Compared to like a Shen ult. I get, like, I kind of understand Kindred ult should maybe be slightly less cooldown for sure. Nidalee, human Q damage, range scaling goes up, so more spear damage pretty much. This benefits you more if you build AP than if you build AD. Not bad, I mean I can't complain. Like Nidalee Q is always a spell that's like fair to buff because you have the ability to outplay it a lot of times. I think Nidalee is really strong honestly in jungle. If played by a very coordinated team, I think. Canyon. Ramus HP growth, such as giving him more stats. W resists, giving him more stats. Flat resists are still multiplied. Yeah, Ramus is a stat tracker. Ramus is getting stats, cool. So then we move to champion nerfs. So this one I said on the previous patch preview that I think the champ is really weak and Ryze needs to be buffed. That's like my assessment of Ryze. I'm really like skeptical of these changes. So these are obviously nerfs. He's losing 10 damage rank 1. So basically if you play Ryze, it is never worth anymore to start W level 1. Never. You should start E or Q now every time level 1. And this spell used to be 80 damage level 1 and now it's 60. It's really weird that we went from Ryze having 80 damage W for more than a year, more than 2 years I think, to now having 60 damage W. Like, where are we going with this? You know what I mean? I think, I don't know, this just makes me want to play Ryze even less. W cost, up by 10, down later by 10, whatever. Twisted Wake R cooldown slightly reverted back. I think they should fully revert it back. It should go back to 180. It's a step into the right direction, but I think Twisted Wake will still be one of the strongest solo queue picks because people also don't know how to build him correctly and stuff. Vi passive shield down by 2%, okay. Passive shield of Vi used to be actually around 12% I believe in the past, and then they slowly built it up to 14 and now it's going back to 12. This is fine. Vi gained win rate last patch with buffing Emax, which majority of players were doing it, and Yorick 3 less armor, which is usually around 1% win rate. It's a bit more early game skewed, so a bit more high skewed. Okay, cool. Can't complain. I would definitely nerf either Yorick Goose or I would nerf Yorick Q. I think that like that's the strongest part about Yorick, but if they want to nerf its stats, like I can't complain, right? That's the patch. It's really small, but yeah. Is Vi W max still better than Emax? Last time I checked low analytics, I can check it right now. But last time I checked low analytics, it doesn't really matter if you look at Emerald Plus, Diamond Plus, or Master Plus. The win rate on W max is still slightly higher, you see? The W max still gets slightly higher, like even if you go Diamond Plus this patch. Where is it? W max is still winning. If you go Master Plus, W max is still winning. It still seems to be that W max is still correct. But now they're a lot closer in power. And if you max E, you're not inting yourself as much.